Welcome, everybody, to another FYLPRO Fridays. And today I have a special guest, Jessica Caloza, who actually just had a new role with Attorney General Rob Bonta. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But hello, Jessica, good to see you.
Nice to see you. Happy Friday to our FYLPRO family and everybody watching.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I wanted to, again, talk about what FYLPRO means to all of our alumni. That's what the series is about, especially as we mark 10 years of the organization. How has it been for you in terms of personally and professionally?
No, FYLPRO is such an incredible program. I had the opportunity to be in batch 4 and got to go home to the Philippines in a very new context. I had gone home to the Philippines with my family to visit relatives and distant cousins, and it was all revolved around, being there to see family. But PhilPro is different in that it really allowed you to explore everything else that the Philippines has to offer. The exposure that you get and the access that you get to high level officials in government, in the private sector was incredible. At the time I was in the PhilPro program, I was actually an appointee in the Obama administration at the US Department of Education. And I remember how intentional the organizers were of my immersion program about asking about what connections they can make to government in the Philippines that would allow me to better understand and do my job better here in the US. And so they actually had set and put together a meeting with the education committee with the Philippine Senate. And it was just this incredible opportunity to connect directly with high level officials, to talk about education policy, to talk about the nuances, the similarities, and also the differences between what the education systems between the US and the Philippines are doing. And it was just an eye opener for me. And I thought, you know, the Philippines is not just my home, but there is opportunity here. Opportunity for us to learn from what people in the Philippines are doing, and then vice versa. What can we take back here to the US to really enrich both countries, both education systems? And I really appreciated that. One of my favorite days too was the service day. And that was totally new for me too. We volunteered and we were farming. We got our hands dirty and we were planting all sorts of stuff with carabao and with these amazing Filipino farm workers. And so just having this diverse experience of high level meetings and at the same time being able to give back to the community and seeing all the different roles and industries that there are, from agriculture to government to business, was something that just transformed me and helped inform what I wanted to do when I came back to the US. So or I said, when the program reopens and happens in person again, I encourage every eligible Filipino, Filipina to apply, because it is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I can't think of any other program like it for Filipinos.
Yeah, it's amazing because everyone I talk to, they do have that special connection to the service day. I think it's your chance to really get to know the average, person, as opposed to a lot of the high level people that you get to meet and work with. And that's amazing that you really got to have that, I guess, connection between both of our governments. That's interesting in itself. And I know you work very closely. Your career has been in public policy and government, not just under the Obama administration, but they're in California and Los Angeles, especially with this new gateway opening. Tell us about that path and the journey that you had in LA.
No, thank you. I've been very fortunate to have, and I've worked for a lot of incredible leaders in government, starting from President Obama. And then I had an opportunity to work in LA City Hall under Mayor Garcetti's administration in a number of different roles, working in immigration policy, then moving to his executive team doing a lot of different strategic initiatives and operations and scheduling, to now I am so proud to be working for Attorney General Rob Bonta, our first Filipino American Attorney General, our second Asian American Attorney General after Vice President Kamala Harris. And he is somebody that is such a champion and an inspiration for all of us. And so really one of the initiatives that I know you just mentioned, that actually my current boss and my former boss, Mayor Garcetti, are going to be at is the Historic Filipino Town Gateway opening, which is happening tomorrow, Saturday, May 7th from 4 to 7 in Historic Filipino Town. And so this project is nearly 2 decades in the making. And it was really through the community's vision of wanting to have more visibility of our community and our culture and our history. And they have been pushing for this for nearly 20 years. So it started with a community vision, and then it took the leadership from our elected officials, like Mayor Garcetti. When he was in city council, he was actually the one who designated the neighborhood of Historic Filipino Town. And then when Mitch O'Farrell, who is now our current city council member, took the helm, he really picked up this incredible project and helped champion this project that we now know as the Eastern Gateway Project. And so I had an opportunity to work with him on this when I was a Public Works Commissioner. Actually, just as of last month, I am just in month 1 of the Attorney General's office, but we worked on this project together because it's not just about the Filipino community. And it's not even just about the Asian American community, but it's about all immigrant communities being welcome in Los Angeles. And that's really what makes our city a global city, a welcoming city, and a city of belonging, because we have all these incredible neighborhoods that are not just there for the sake of being there, but they're there because we really want to celebrate immigrants and immigrant communities. So we have Chinatown, Little Tokyo, Little Bangladesh, Thai Town, Koreatown, Historic Filipino Town. And so what does it mean when a city designates these neighborhoods and these places? It means that we want you to belong. And so there's a lot of different markers all throughout the city. And this is just another addition to the city's investment into our communities. So I feel really proud to have done this. I also had an opportunity to do this as the city's first Filipina Public Works Commissioner. So there's just a lot of special meaning here for me. And I can't wait to cut the ribbon. I wish you were here with us in Los Angeles to help us out, Annalisa. But I know you will be with us in spirit, as will many Filipino Americans.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if you remember, but when we first met, I think it was through FYLPRO or one of these events that I was helping with. And you told me about it, or you told all of us about it, about the coming of this. And I thought, oh my God, that's amazing, because I'm actually from LA and I grew up very close to where this is going to be happening. So I also am so proud to hear that you guys are doing that and have been working on it. Yeah, 20 years, that is a long, long time. So I'm glad that you guys were able to get that up and going. And I will be there in maybe a couple of weeks. So I will definitely make it a point to go over there and take a picture.
Please come.
Yes, yes.
And there's a special plug that I will make about the Gateway. That's one of my favorite elements. And there is a storyboard that wraps the base of the columns, and there's a QR code on there, and you can scan it and it'll actually take you to a web page that's hosted by our Department of Cultural Affairs. And it has a list of all the other monuments and markers in Historic Filipino Town, from our Hi-Fi Highlights bus shelter project to our World War II Veterans Memorial to other murals in the neighborhood. And so what it does is it's also about public education. And it's also about making sure that people know our history, that Filipino history and Asian history is US history. And so there's an incredible public education piece to it too. And the last thing that I'll mention that's my favorite is that we know how hard Filipino Americans have been impacted during the pandemic. And so there is a beautiful design, and this was designed by Eliseo Art Silva, and it is of the gumamela flower, or hibiscus flower as we know it. And it's a symbol of healing. And so there's a little plaque there, and we put this there to really thank and symbolize our Filipino frontline healthcare workers, because of all the healing and love that they have given back to the community and to millions of Americans whose lives they have saved during the last 2+ years. Because we know that Filipinos have been disproportionately impacted by the pandemic during the last 2 years. And this is our way of saying thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, I will definitely look out for that when I do that. And the fact that you actually have a map, or is it a map, or at least information about all those different sites that we can also visit?
Yeah, so it's a QR code, and you can scan it, and then it'll take you to a web page, and it has the map.
Okay.
And you can either go walk to different monuments, or it's, LA, you can
drive around.
I was about to say, I don't know if we're so much of a
If it's walkable,
city.
I don't know if it was a walkable tour or something, but no,
the intention is for it to be, it is walking distance, but yeah, totally up to you if you want to walk or drive. But I think it's just, it's more than a monument, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's more than a monument.
That's definitely something I'll look into. So congratulations on that. And again, I think something for everyone to be proud of is someone who grew up near. So my mom still lives near that Jollibee there, on
oh my gosh,
Vermont and Beverly. So it's very close. And we used to always drive, up Temple and to go to Bahay Kubo. That was like one of our favorite restaurants that we used to always go to. And it's every time I'm in town, I go there too. And then I'm sure of that bar, the Speakeasy, some of my friends created.
Jennifer?
Is it Jennifer?
Jennifer.
Yeah. And they've gotten a lot of Speakeasy. Yeah, and a lot of a lot of awards they've gotten and acknowledgement. So proud of them also. Yeah. So anyway, so that's wonderful. And how is your transition going with the AG's office? So that's different, right? Coming from, I guess, from the city and public works to the Department of Justice.
Yeah, no, it's I feel very fortunate. Like I mentioned, I'm working for an incredible public servant who has had such an illustrious career in government. And now he is the people's attorney, representing the largest state in our country during such a pivotal time. He was appointed by Governor Gavin Newsom last year, and the Attorney General actually just celebrated his 1 year since being sworn in, and he has done so much for vulnerable communities. We know that something that the Filipino and Asian community are extremely worried about the last 2 years and still are, especially this month in particular, when we're talking about the API community, is really still the ongoing anti-Asian hate and anti-Asian hate crimes. And so the Attorney General has taken an immense leadership role from launching the Racial Justice Bureau to launching a new office dedicated to community awareness and response, to really making sure that he's out there, making sure that people know that the California Department of Justice, with the Attorney General Bonta at the helm, has their back and will protect them. And so I feel very proud to work for an incredible public servant. And I hope you get to meet him one day and talk to him yourself, Annalisa. He's pretty great.
Yeah, no, I'd love to. If there's anything that he is working on that may touch the lives of Hawaii or maybe you guys have to do a special trip over. I don't
Yeah,
know. Make a trip or make a plan to
I
come.
know. There's a lot of connections here.
Yeah, yeah. If there's a Hawaii connection, I will totally find a way to do a story about it. But even just to meet him, because I've heard such wonderful things about him. And obviously he's, like you said, a pioneer for us Filipino Americans in government. And a lot of the other PhilAm or FYLPRO alumni that I've spoken to that work in government or are trying to be elected to government have talked about just how poorly we're represented considering how large of a population we are. So I don't know, in the last couple minutes we have together, I just wanted to give you a chance for, I guess, what's your vision for us going forward as a group, as a network, and maybe how we can leverage our connections to better our position and representation in the country.
No, it's a great question. I think what's unique about FYLPRO is that we've built such an extensive network of people who are not future leaders, but they're current leaders and they're leading now. And so it's really our bench. And so I think one of the biggest opportunities here is just really connecting the dots between public sector and private sector, and how do we really leverage each other in our respective industries, because just like this, right? Like we're already doing a lot right now. You being such an incredible figure in Hawaii, in the media, you are the face of Filipinos there, Annalisa, and you're using your platform to uplift Filipinos here in California, I think is incredible. I think these are things that we need to do more of, because what I'm reminded of when I work for somebody like Attorney General Bonta is that it's not about one person's vision. It's about our collective vision and what we can do together. And I think that's really what my hope is for FYLPRO, is I just want us to do more and leverage our collective network, because when we do, we're able to deliver on things like the Historic Filipino Town Gateway. We're able to deliver on things like getting our first Filipino American Attorney General. And so these are the barriers that we're continuing to break and the glass ceilings that we're continuing to shatter. And so we have so much more ahead of us. And so I can't wait to see what records we're going to break and what history we're going to make together. So thank you.
And I'm excited for us too. Thank you, Jessica. And I'm proud of all the work that you've done for our community as well. Thank you so much for representing FYLPRO in everything you do. And you've been a great ambassador for our organization as along with our other alumni. I'm just so proud to be part of this organization. It really is a family. And all of us do such amazing work to help, uplift our communities. So looking forward to hearing more from your work over at the AG's office. And I'll let you know when I come to California. You're still in LA though, right? It is LA based. Okay. So definitely I will hit you up when I'm in town.
That sounds great. We'll go to Jollibee, and then you and I will go do a walking tour of historic Filipino town.
Oh my gosh. If you want to do it, I will do it. And we should do a video about it. I would totally love that.
Let's do it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jessica. You have a great day. And remember, guys, tomorrow, tell us again what time and everything, all that information, Jessica.
Yeah, tomorrow, Saturday, May 7th, please join us for the Historic Filipino Town Eastern Gateway Community Unveiling Ceremony and Lighting Ceremony. So everyone is welcome. 4 to 7, come out on Beverly Boulevard and join us for the biggest block party LA has seen in a very long time. So,
okay, looking forward to it. I'll be watching virtually.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. You have a great weekend. See you tomorrow.